He checks the bank account. You know, what's left. Again, not because he's obsessed, but because the weight of providing never stops pressing down. This might sound familiar. The cost of gas and groceries and tuition and holidays and the dream vacations and her dreams and their needs. You know, most men don't complain. They just keep adjusting. He provides, not because he's okay, but because he has no other option. But what happens when the money is there and he still doesn't feel worthy? He still doesn't feel like a man. Let's talk about the provider or the prisoner. See, from an early age, boys are taught the rules. You gotta be useful, you gotta make money, you gotta provide, don't struggle, and whatever you do, you never wanna find yourself needy. So a man's value is often measured in output, never in just being. So what men do is we learn to provide as proof that we matter. Not just that he loves you, but that he deserves to stay in that relationship. He doesn't say it, but his paycheck has become his permission slip to exist, to rest, to be enough in your world. I want us to try and understand the psychology of financial identity in men. According to Dr. Ronald Levant, president of the APA, men's self-esteem is often inextricably tied to career status and their financial ability. So when a man can't provide financially, it strikes at the core of his very masculine identity. And even more, Dr. Terrence says men don't separate financial failure from personal failure. They don't see them as different things. So when he says, I'm stressed about money, what he's actually might be saying is this: I don't know who I am if I can't give you everything that I've always given you. And when he can give it, but it feels like no one sees him, and he starts to wonder, do they love me or do they just love the lifestyle that I give them? We never talk about the unseen cost of being the rock. So here's what happens with men. They'll carry it all, but every month it's almost like a scoreboard. I heard one person say all athletes keep score. But there's this hidden panic, a new reason not to rest. He won't say it, but he'll feel it, and it weighs on him. If I lose this job, I lose my worth. If I can't fix the car, then I failed him. If I can't afford your dreams, I don't deserve your love. And so when appreciation begins to fade and affection starts turning to expectation, when thank yous are replaced with, well, finally, something in him starts to break and he becomes this bank account in the shape of a man. I want you to know he's not distant, he's drowning. And most men will never say that they're tired, but look at him. He hasn't slept well in weeks. He might not say that he's scared, but he's budgeting and his confidence, and it's like it's running out. And if he starts to withdraw, if he stops showing up emotionally, it's not selfishness. It's this emotional foreclosure. He does not want to quit the relationship. He just doesn't know how to exist in it if he stops producing. Because if the only reason that man is celebrated is because of his sacrifice, then when he's resting, it becomes rebellion. And asking for help becomes weakness. A man who feels loved only when he's giving will eventually disappear when he has nothing left to give. So here's some closing thoughts. If you love a man, tell him he's more valuable than what he's bringing to the table. He's more valuable than his paycheck. Celebrate what he carries, but also what it cost him. And remind him that being present matters more than being perfect. Because behind every provider is a person hoping that someone sees their humanity underneath their hustle. He's not asking you to fix the pressure. You can't take it away. He just needs to know he matters when he's empty, when he's empty too. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give a man is permission to breathe without producing. Here's some quotes. He carries his paycheck like proof that he deserves to stay. He's not just providing, he's performing to prove that he's enough. And if love only shows up when money does, he'll never feel safe. He's not distant, he's drowning silently in expectation. And sometimes the richest men are the ones that are the most emotionally bankrupt. So if you are or love a man who feels the weight of worth tied to what he can provide, I want you to send this to someone who needs to hear. You are not a paycheck. You are a person, and your value is much more than just that job. You are still worthy even when your hands are empty. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to The Payne Project, where we don't just honor what men give, we remind them of who they are when they have nothing left to offer but themselves, because that's enough. And it always was.